Welcome to the Living Live Face show this morning. I am your host, Sally Thibault. Today, let's talk how to know what you want and how to manifest it. Let's go. You know, there is a 4-word question that I ask so many people, and I get the same 4-word response. Those 4 words are, what do you want? And usually it is answered with the same 4 words, I don't know. Well, on today's show, I'm going to share with you why that happens, why it's so difficult for us to know what we want. And best of all, I'm going to share with you what to do about it. And of course, at the end, we're going to end with a tapping session to help you stay focused and to manifest exactly what you want. So big week this week for everybody. And I think for me, I don't know if you're feeling the same way. It feels like the weeks are going fast, but they're going slow when you realize that next week is the beginning of August. And what an incredible year it has been. And I think if there's anything we have learned over this period of time, it is that being very focused on what's important to you has become more important. It has become highlighted because the world is so uncertain. But I think if there's anything we have also learned about it is that you are the person who manifests what you want, no matter what is going on in your world. Relying on other things to be perfect for you has just gone by the wayside. And as I say to clients a lot, don't wait for the perfect time. Be ready for when the time is right. And there's a lot of energy happening. There's a lot of, as I said, uncertainty and unpredictability. Many people, that's causing a great deal of stress and anxiety. Your role at the moment is to stay out of that. Whatever that is causing you to feel anxious or stressed, stay out of it because it stops you being able to think clearly. And that probably is the number one thing that stops us from manifesting what we want is stress, anxiety, overwhelm, fear, and doubt. When those things happen, it is simply impossible for you to be able to manifest what you want. So I'm going to go through a series of things today, and I hope you're writing these down as we go through them. I'll make them as succinct. I want to make today a really powerful day for you to come away from it with some real understanding of how getting what you want, knowing what you want, and manifesting and believing in what you can have are all aligned. I heard a great quote through the week, and I wanted to share this with you. I think for many people, when I ask the question, what do you want? There's a belief that it has to be something grandiose. It has to be something amazing. It has to be something that aligns with what others are doing. And I heard this great quote during the week. I'm reading a fabulous book at the moment by Tim Ferriss called The Tools of Titans, I think it's called. And I heard this quote. It was, comparison cancels creativity. That if you are comparing in any way yourself to someone else, you immediately cancel your own ability to create what you want. We are unique human beings that bring our own measures of empowerment, creativity, confidence, brilliance, personality to whatever we do. The moment we get into comparing ourselves to others or comparing ourselves to whatever the level is that we want to be at, we cancel the ability to create. Now, a couple of shows ago, we talked about switching the terminology from what do I want to what can I create. And I think there's a real power in that. What do I want and what can I create? The two won't run hand in hand. But because creativity creates clarity. And if there's anything that we are learning at the moment, is that the old rules, the old guard, the old way of doing things is falling apart. The things that we used to rely on are going to come out of this, whatever this looks like at the end of 2020, is going to be different. And so your own creativity to create what you want in your world that resonates deeply with your true self, your purpose, your passion, your values, that's what you should be creating at the moment. And when you move from something that exists outside of you to understanding that everything you create happens within you, there's a clarity that happens. It just opens up for you. But when you're in comparison, whether that's be you want to be a certain body shape or weight compared to somebody else, whether you want to have a business and you're building that business in comparison to somebody else. I know many of the people on this call are often those in multi-level marketing businesses. So any of that, if you're trying to be like someone else, to achieve what they're doing rather than in your own space, what you bring to the table, then your own creativity and your own clarity are difficult to hold on to. And we are creative human beings. We are constantly creating our reality. You actually do create your own reality. And you look around you at your three main areas that are the mirrors for you, and that is body, relationships, bank account. You just need to look in those three areas to see what you are creating based on what you believe about yourself. That's just simply it. And when you take that huge responsibility, we talk about sovereignty all the time. You are a sovereign being. So when you take that responsibility and recognize that whatever situation I am in, I have the ability to recreate my own reality, that's when you move into manifestation and getting what you want. Because if you're looking at the door that's closed for too long, you can't see the door that's opened. Now, one of the challenges I see for many women in particular in this area, when they talk about getting quiet and still and having what you want, is using the word busy. And busy is a decision. That's all it is. Busy is a decision. Do you know, over this last week, I've been very intensely involved in building a new online program. And what I realized at the end yesterday, when I have clients Mondays and Tuesdays, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I tend to focus on working in my business and or on my business. And I realized at the end of the day yesterday that I hadn't done a lot of things that I normally do. Because for me to create what I need to create, I had to let everything go. I had to say no to a lot of things. Because for me right now, that is my major decision. It's my choice to be focused on that. So to let go of the things that pull you into that busyness, and it's just a decision. That's all it is. So if you're using terminology, I'm busy, I'd like you to change that to the words, I'm being productive. I have this vision. I know what I want, and I'm being productive in order to move towards it. See if you can get that four-letter word busy out of your terminology. I know so many people, it just rolls off your tongue. It seems like a badge of honor. I'm so busy. But are you being productive? Are you being productive? Because the thing is this, it's not what you can't have, it's what you believe you can have that impacts on us being able to manifest what we want. So being quiet and still are important. And then from there, moving into manifesting and creating what you want. But you can't do that if you're busy, and if you can't do that if you believe you can't have what you want. So how do we go about this? Well, the quality of the answer depends on the quality of the question you ask. In the intuitive eating 4-step methodology, the very first thing I get people to say is, I now allow myself to eat anything I want. Now, that particular 4-step, that particular question is really powerful for everything. What do you allow yourself to now have? The word allow is incredibly powerful, because for many of us, we were told when we were children what we, like we're allowed to ask for. Can't have too much, can't have what you want, what makes you think you're so special. That's being greedy. You'll get what you need, not necessarily what you want. When you use the word, I allow myself to have anything I want, I want you just for a moment to really think about that. Really think about, if you gave yourself permission to have anything you want, is there elements that come up for you about doubt, fear, I'm being greedy, who do I think I am? Numerous things that come up for you, those beliefs that come up for you. So it's the quality of the question that you ask yourself will depend on the answer that you get is dependent on the question. I love that's what Deborah just said. Thank you, Debbie. Active in business or life. Beautiful. I love that. Yes, change that strategy from I'm busy, I'm active in business and life. Love it, love it, love it. All right, let's move on to now a lot of people talk to me about, I don't know what my purpose is. And especially as we start to get aging, as we age, our purpose changes. And it's ongoing. But what never changes is your soul purpose. Remember those words? I've done a show on this maybe even to last year when we did the show on the difference between soul purpose and life purpose. You find your soul purpose by the words that resonate most with you. And it always begins with the word to create, to draw, to paint, to teach, to help, to inspire, to build, those words. And that comes from, if you were left as a child in imaginary play, that whatever you love to do most in imaginary play, you will find the words that then resonate for you. And then that changes through life purpose. For me, my soul purpose is to teach and inspire and entertain. And so throughout my life, that's changed a lot. When I was in the fitness industry, that was, I was teaching and entertaining, inspiring all the time, even coming up with new classes and creating. Probably when I look back at now, some of one of the best 15 years of my life, really. I just absolutely loved it. And then when I moved into marketing and working at the school, again, it was teaching people about marketing and inspiring. And, I had to create documents, like the yearbook and the website. And it was all about inspiring and entertaining. I had to make that yearbook, the kids wanted to read it, the parents wanted to read it. It had to be entertaining. So, and now in my role is what I'm doing now is to teach, inspire, and entertain. Everything that I'm doing, again, is that. So it shifts and changes, and there was a time when my role was being a mum, and purely and simply that was it, to teach, inspire, and entertain my children. That's what my role was at that particular time in my life. And so the soul purpose never changes, but your life purpose does. And so when you're understanding what you want, look around that. How am I placing my soul purpose into what I'm doing right now? Because that helps to create that creativity. Next one is to be open to coincidences. I don't know about you, but boy, oh boy, am I ever seeing coincidences at the moment. I posted on Instagram last week where I saw 5:55 p.m. on the Saturday night. I saw 5:55 a.m. on the Sunday morning, and then I found a $5 note on the ground when I was coming back from my walk. Now, if that isn't coincidences, I don't know what is. But interesting enough, I was just thinking about this online program that I'm doing. That was my universe's way of just telling me I was on the right track. So look at coincidences. At the end of the beautiful meditation that Joe Dispenza does, Dr. Joe Dispenza, he says, ask the universe for a sign. If I'm on track, ask the universe for a sign. Then let it go. Now, I had another question this week, and yesterday, two things showed up, and it wasn't until I woke up this morning, coming out of my meditation, I went, oh, there were the two signs. I didn't realize them when they're happening at the time, but they both happened yesterday. So be open to coincidences, because that's what is reminding you you're on track, you're creating. See, the universe doesn't send you messages in the way you think it should. Let me ask you this. Do you have a parking angel? You know, when you go somewhere, it doesn't matter how busy any place is, you always find the perfect parking spot. Let me know, hearts or likes, if you have a parking angel. It's interesting, whenever I go somewhere and at Christmas time or whenever, and somebody tells me you'll never get a car park, I went, yes, I will. And I was having a conversation with my dad the other day, and he said to me, what is it with you girls, all of you? He said, wherever I go with all of you, you always manage to find a car park. I have a parking angel. That's what I believe. I believe I have a parking angel. So I just know when I leave home, I will always find a car park. It doesn't matter where it is, I'll find it. Now, let me explain what this is. Frequency of illusion. Because I believe that in my heart, I believe I will always find a car park. Guess what happens? My brain goes searching, and I'm sure sometimes I see things out of the corner of my eye. Like I'll see someone come out the door, and I think, okay, well, I'm pretty sure they're going to go into that row, so I'll drive down there, and sure enough, they'll be pulling out just as I'm coming. It happens all the time. It's frequency of illusion. Whatever you think and ask for, the universe and your brain work together to create the sign. Now, whether you manifest that depends on your confirmation bias, if you believe it. So if I go to the shopping centre and say, there's no car parks, guess what? I'm not going to see the car parks. It's just not going to happen. But because I believe I will always find a car park, they always appear. It's because my brain goes searching to make it happen. That's how our brain works. Whatever you ask, it will find a solution for. But if you believe there's no car parks, guess what happens? There won't be. I know everybody on this call at this moment is telling me, yep, hearts. What's this? Kathy, angel feathers and 5-cent pieces. Yes, perfect parking angel all the time. Grandchildren are saying, Nana, ask the angels for a park. I love that. Yeah, absolutely, Kathy. I'm exactly the same. My dad said, how do you girls do it? Oh, Dad, we're just magic. But what you believe, it's what you believe. Now, let me just tell you this. How you figure out what you believe, and you practice this with other people. Listen to the words. Listen to the words, and you will figure out very quickly what you actually believe and what they believe. Listen to the words. It's the words you use that are telling you, they're echoing your beliefs. That's it. So when you are in a creative mode, okay, what do I really want? What can I create? Then listen to your inner dialogue. What's your inner dialogue telling you? Because that's your confirmation bias, what you believe. I've shared this story before about finding the apartment we now live in. We were very specific about what we wanted. It took a little while to find it, but in the end, it was just perfect. And the amazing things that have happened since we've been here is incredible. You know, relationships and new business opportunities, all sorts of things happen when we move to our new apartment. But what's interesting about it was I had to trust. So something as big as finding a perfect apartment to live in, I had to trust, because you have to release your own expectation of the outcome, because often it's not going to show up the way you think it should. So releasing that expectation from the outcome. So that they are the keys to manifesting exactly what you want. Be specific in the question, quality of the question. Listen to the words that you're using, which come from the beliefs that you have. Trust, watch for the signs, and release the attachment to the outcome. It may show up in a way you hadn't even thought of. In fact, I think that's a quote by Oprah Winfrey, isn't it? She said, if I could have possibly imagined this, I would never have believed it. I mean, I say that about my son all the time. My son who's on the spectrum. If I couldn't have possibly imagined the life he now leads if you'd asked me when he was 10 or 12 years old. Couldn't possibly have imagined. It turned out far greater than we expected. And you have to let go of your attachment to that outcome. All right, who's ready for a tapping session? Let's do a tapping session quickly. Where's this one? Marie, I sure do. I even taught my grandchildren when they were in the car to ask the parking angel to save a spot. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. That's lovely, Marie. Really lovely. And it's just wonderful, isn't it? It's like, you know, it's like this little game we play now. And, you know, whenever you're stuck on something and you're not getting what you want, ask the parking angel. All right, parking angel, could you just kind of like get your act together and come over here for a minute? Because it's exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. But if you can manifest a car park when everybody else tells you that the car park's full, imagine what else you could do. It's all about what we believe possible. All right. Remember, if you are stuck on anything you want to start manifesting, please reach out and book a strategy session with me. I'd love to help you in some way. I'd love to help you. So I'm just going to pop it here. So if you click on the link, and let's get into a EFT session, shall we? There's the link going up right now. If you are stuck on anything and you really want to get this manifestation stuff sorted, reach out. Let's have a chat. Let me help you. It's magical stuff. Magical stuff. All right, let's do a tapping. I want you to think for a moment of something that you would really like to manifest in your life. Whatever it is, doesn't matter how big it is, whatever is going on for you at the moment, I'd like you to think of what you would like to manifest. Then I want you to measure on a scale of 1 to 10, and I want you to be truly honest here. What's your level of belief that A, you can make this happen, or B, you deserve it? And no one else is asking this the question. Okay, this is just for you. I want you to get really honest at the moment. And just measure that level of doubt. It could be a belief about, you know, if I have that, Am I being greedy? It's impossible. Find a word that is kind of aligned to your belief. All right. I might use the word it's impossible. Okay. And whatever your word is, you. Okay. Even though when I think of what I want to manifest, right now it feels impossible. Even though I really want to manifest this in my life, but right now it just feels impossible. I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Even though I really know what I want, I think. But right now, it feels impossible. I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Okay, let's tap. It feels impossible. It just feels too big. Can I really do this? So many times in the past it hasn't worked out. Can I really get what I want? Am I being greedy to ask for this? It just feels impossible. I don't know if I can do this. It's feeling impossible. This doubt if I can do it. What gives me the right to have it? Just feels impossible. Filled with doubt. It feels impossible. I know what I want, but it just feels impossible. Okay, just take a deep breath and let it go. So whatever the word you were using, go back and think about that now and think, just see if it's shifted. What we want to do in this particular type of tapping is we want to shift that feeling from doubt to belief. So if you've got something at the moment you'd really like to manifest in your life, use this daily. Okay, whenever doubt comes up, tap on it and see if you can find, as I've mentioned before, where that block started, where that belief started, because it started somewhere. And you need to go and unhook all of those, pull those all apart. But for our show, I'll now move on to the reframe round. But only do this again. As I said, you've gotten rid of all those, and we call them aspects: tabletops and table legs. So the tabletop is the belief, and the table legs are held up by these aspects that have contributed to that belief. So you want to go in and collapse each one of those. All right, let's do a reframe, shall we? Quickly as we finish. Even though I know what I want, I honor this feeling of doubt. Even though I know where I'm heading, I choose to believe I can make this possible. Even though I have a fair idea of what I want, I now forgive myself for doubting my ability to manifest. Okay, tapping. I choose to believe I can manifest this. I'll go to the same place my parking angel lives. I choose to believe I can manifest this. I give myself permission to release all the doubt. I believe I will manifest this better than I think possible. I choose to release all attachment to the outcome. I choose to manifest this better than I think possible. I choose to be open to all coincidences. I give myself permission to dream bigger. I give myself permission to be my true self. I choose to believe I can manifest this. I forgive myself for doubting myself in the past. I believe I'll manifest this better than I think possible. I choose to believe I can manifest. I choose to release all attachment to the outcome. I'm grateful that I am manifesting this right now. Take a deep breath and let it go. Now, this week, your challenge this week, write down all coincidences. Write them down so you remember them. Take a photo of them. Remind yourself of the coincidences. Keep in your mind what you want to manifest. Release the attachment to outcome. Believe you can manifest it. Trust. And then write down the coincidences. See what happens, because they may show up in ways you just didn't believe possible. I hope this show has helped today. As I said, please reach out if you are willing or really want to make some changes in your life and become that master manifester. And have a great weekend, everybody. And I'll see you this time next week. Bye for now.